video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Clobberin time! Clobberin time!
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Seven Kinds of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki, and with me today is, of course, the one and the only, the king of Clobberin, Clobberin Times. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, brother, it's Clobberin Times, and it's a time for a, let's see, we can't say Marvel or DC. We'll call it YouTube 2-in-1 team up with the ever-loving blue-eyed thing and the greatest master of mischief of all, Yoki. I love these team-ups, man.
I love them too, brother. I love them too, and we're talking about a kick-ass DC movie tonight. We are talking about Batman versus, or almost both. Oh, I almost screwed it up. I almost screwed Batman, Superman, Public Enemy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If you guys haven't seen this movie, go out, get it, come back, watch it, then watch this review, because this is one of the very best team-up movies with Batman and Superman that I have ever seen.
I concur.
If you ever wonder, do Batman and Superman like train together? Do they get, do they go into the Justice League's version of the Danger Room and work on combos or something? Oh, yes. Yes, they do. And this movie proves it. Absolutely epic movie. And I love the way it starts. It starts with all the chaos. It starts with all the craziness going on. And then Luthor gets elected to be president of the United States. How wonderful is that? And Clancy Brown
Yes.
is Lex Luthor. Holy shit. Yes.
Terrific.
Absolutely awesome. When did you first see this movie?
What was it? When did that thing come out? 09 maybe?
Yes, it was something like that. Let me pull it up.
Well, back when it first came out, because at that point I was still enjoying, and even
2009. Yep.
Well, at that point I was still enjoying these DC animated movies very much, and so I watched it like all of them. I watched it when it first came out, and I was not reading the title very regularly at that point. I did not read I've never read the comic. I was never a big fan of. But first of all, Jeff Loeb aggravates me, to be quite honest with you. And I wasn't the biggest fan of. Was it McGinnis or whatever, the artist of the comic? Again, nothing against it. A lot of people like the comic. I've liked some Loeb stuff here and there, but at that entire era, in fact, I don't know. I wasn't reading a lot of those comics, so this was
after the death of Superman.
Oh, this is way after. This is far after that. Yes, this was an era where, again, if you just look at it, they look like they're supposed to look, so that's a plus. I wasn't really that big of a fan of the artist, but a buddy of mine was. He's a huge fan of, oh, God, I always forget the guy's name. McGinnis, was it McGinnis? Is it Ed McGinnis or whatever the artist?
I think so. Right? Yes.
Yeah. I was never a big fan of that, and I also this is some of it's sort of based in the late '90s and early 2000s and stuff. And that was an era of DC that I was not that fond of personally. I'm a golden, silver, bronze age guy with Superman. I make no compromise to it either. Yes, things have gotten worse recently, but I don't like that era. Even though I love this movie, I still hate the whole Luthor is president crap. I hated that. The idea is dumb. It is moronic. It's never worked. Not for me. Not for the Luthor the way I want him. It doesn't damage this movie at all. And I even like the fact that they based the animation and the art on the Ed McGuinness comic book to an extent to make it look like that. So going into it, I went in with a prejudice, like, I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it, but I wasn't that hopeful, and I was very pleasantly surprised. In fact, not reading the comic may help you. I don't know. I've not read the comic. I have nothing against it. I just did at the time, did not read it. And look at all these lovely ladies we have here with us.
That's right. We have got so many people here tonight. We've got Purple Valkyrie, the Valkyrie of Valhalla. We have got Sherry. Good evening, Sherry. Thank you guys so very much. Lady Mist. Good evening, Lady Mist. How are you doing?
And some guys, but we don't need to say that. They're guys. We don't need to say hi to them. They're fine.
That's right. They're fine. They're just chilling.
Hey, hello, friends. You're all great to see all of you tonight.
He is on. Yes, he is. He is on Dexter New Blood.
Who?
Yes, he
Clancy?
is. Clancy Brown. Oh yeah.
He's great. I've loved him since Buckaroo Banzai. So.
Let's see if I can do it, Dean. I don't know if I can do it. I've been sick. Let me see if I can do it. Happy Halloween, ladies. I see my coat has improved your voice.
Ladies, as they say on Riff Tracks.
He was not his woman. He was your woman. Oh, man. Yes, absolutely. Clancy Brown. Yes. Anything Clancy Brown's in, I'm signed me up. Even Starship Troopers. I love Starship Troopers.
He was actually.
I even liked him.
We don't know if he was actually great in The Bride as the monster, the Frankenstein monster.
Yes.
He was in a movie called Bad Boys. I think, even though I hate Sean Penn now, he was in that one. He's Simon Morales. But as a Buckaroo Banzai fanatic, he was rawhide in that. Shame what happens to him in the movie. And after that, it's like anything he's in, cool. And he's just great with voice work too. He is absolutely great guy. The first thing you think about him is Kurgan, but I mean that's because it's fucking Kurgan. It's the Kurgan. It's the best movie they made. And some people believe that's the only movie they made, even though they made 5 of them. I go into that camp.
Yeah, you love the first movie, and after that, we're from the planet Zeist, brother. No, you're not. I love you, Sean, but no, you're not from the planet. You're from the planet Zeist.
You're from the planet Paycheck, brother.
Yeah, they gave me a big check to do this. I'm rather glad the magic works. The magic of the check.
Yeah.
God bless Sean Connery. May you rest in peace, brother.
Indeed.
Anyway, back to this movie. You have got an all-star voice cast in this.
Oh, 2 best Batman and Superman voices probably ever.
Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy. You can't beat that. You've got, believe it or not, Allison Mack, who got in trouble for branding women and selling them to her. Whatever. Allison Mack is Power Girl.
Right.
CCH Pounder is Amanda Waller.
Not her first time either. Yeah.
Nope. LeVar Burton is Black Lightning. It's a kick-ass voice cast. Bruce Timm is Mongol. Bet you'd even know that.
I haven't even looked at the voice cast in years, so I can't really remember who did all the voices. But I never looked at that in years. But I have looked at quite a few times is this movie because it's really beautifully animated, and I got used to that art style right away, which I didn't think I would, but I did. But the thing is, that art style aside, and God, I would have loved to see 5-10 more movies in that art style with the characters looking just like that. This feels like the Tim animated universe.
Yes.
Other than looking different. Obviously, it looks different. Same way as a different artist on a different comic book makes the comic book look different, and yet they feel like that. What I love about this film is too short, and it should have been much longer. And there's some things they didn't explain particularly well. But what I love about it, the relationship between Soups and Bats,
Yes,
is perfection. You and I just recently reviewed their first meeting in the Timverse, which was, of course, the world's finest special. It was done for the animated series of Superman and Batman combined, and that was great. A great introduction to them. This to me is actually better. For a lot of reasons, I think this is a better story, really, to be honest with you. And their relationship, they already know each other, is pretty much established that they are best friends. They even say they are best friends. The banter between them throughout is wonderful because I grew up, and I've talked to you about this a lot, man. When I grew up, Superman and Batman were best friends.
yes.
I hate them being enemies. I hate it. Contentious, yes. Competitive, yes. Problematic with each other, yes. But best friends. And this film just carries that beautifully.
Yes, absolutely. No, I completely agree with you. Competitive, neck and neck, everything. They are their best friends and worst enemies at the same time.
Yeah.
They're never like they never hate each other. They never go for the throat, but they both kind of know if we ever had to, they know. It's like they both know.
Well, yeah, when Soups goes off to meet Luther at the beginning of this one, I guess we're spoilering, right? Or we're talking about things that happen.
Yes, yeah. This is 12 years old. I think we can throw some spoilers out.
Gotcha. Well, when he goes on, basically they both agree, and they're in the Batcave for one thing. When they first start, seeing this, and he offers to meet with Superman or ask him. President Luther offers, sets up a meeting with Superman. Batman's pretty much said, it's a trap, right? Basically, he knows you shouldn't do it, but I know you're going to go. Says, I know you're going to go anyway, aren't you? Basically, and Superman says, "Yep, you know me too well." And Batman says, "Don't expect me to save you." And then Superman said, "Oh yeah, I know you too well," too, whatever. And of course, we all know when he's attacked by Metallo, which is there's some iterations of characters. You know how I am, dude. That are iterations that are particularly that I'm fond of. The Terminator Metallo was the one they used on the Bruce Timm show, so it's kind of okay. I don't think it was Malcolm McDowell doing the voice in this case, but when he gets attacked by Metallo, who shows up to have his back? Who do you think?
Batman. And you know what? I loved that. I loved that scene where Metallo's standing there and he's about to blast Superman, and suddenly he's got like 4 snippets of C4 stuck to his back, and he's like, huh? Boom! And suddenly Batman's there. He's like, hurry, he's gonna get up here in a minute. Let's go.
He even asked me, says, well, those plastiques? He goes, something like that. He said, well, that's not gonna stop him for long. And the banter in that scene, the banter's just so great between these two guys because it's not hateful. Again, it's the kind of banter. It's a buddy superhero movie in that sense,
and that's the way it should be between them.
Yeah.
Okay. You have got going back. You have got this thing, and it's this thing in the corner that nobody ever wants to criticize. But everybody will talk about it, and that is Frank Miller. What happened in the Frank Miller story? That is not our Superman. I don't give a shit what anybody wants to say. That is our Batman. That is an older Batman. That is completely, totally an older Batman, Bruce Wayne. That is not our Superman. That's sold out to the government and is the government stooge. Superman would never do that.
I hate it so much, dude. Don't get me rolling on that one because I hate it.
So that's that thing in the corner of the room that nobody wants to talk about because no one wants to criticize Frank Miller, even though I really like that story. I hate that Superman. I do.
It was Elseworlds, but yes, it was very disrespectful to Superman. Though you're right. Look at this as the contrast. In this one, he totally. I guess you could say, well, of course it's Luthor. Of course we'd oppose him. But yeah, still, it's the president, and he didn't fall in line. I don't care if he's president; he's still Luthor.
That's right. I don't care if he's the president; he's still Luthor. But then you've got Luther talking to Power Girl, and the what he tells her. I love how manipulative Luthor is. You know, Power Girl, if I could change and become the man I am today, is it so inconceivable that Superman could go down a dark path? I love that. I fucking love that.
But she didn't buy it either.
No, she didn't. She was just like, maybe, but I don't really think so.
Yep. She didn't buy it at all. And that's what I liked about that too. Because you can't have all of the heroes that is kind of a problem. And again, it's really just because they didn't have a lot of time. This is a very, very short run. Very short on the timing. Her being the only one of the heroes that really kind of defects after all these heroes have been through is something of a problem. It's okay. It's a minor quibble when you have both Black Lightning and Katana turning on Batman like that. I went, I don't know, but still, he's kind of a mentor to them. Nevertheless, it's a minor thing, and you got a super chat.
X-Wing with a $5 super chat. Good evening, my brother. And he says, Star Wars. Thank you so very much, brother.
Well, the thing is, when Batman takes his X-Wing down the Death Star trench and Superman's right behind him, and they're both about to destroy the Death Star. Well, actually, Batman's about to destroy it. Superman comes up behind him and says, "You're all clear, kid. Bats, let's blow this thing and go home." I just want to get a little Star Wars to X-Wing there. He gave you, the $5, and he deserved a little Star Wars talk mixed in with the superhero talk. I didn't think that was too much to ask.
He does, and he deserves a little extra of that. Thank you so much, brother, for that $5 super chat. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. And here's a little Emperor for you. Skull! Where are your pitiful friends now?
They're at Justice League headquarters.
Have a good night, brother. Have a good night, X-Wing.
Hey, X-Wing, take care. This scene, I think what makes this thing so great, beautiful animation. Again, like I said, it looks great, first of all. And it may not seem like much to some of you, but when I watch this, I think it's even better than before, because if you will, the DC animated films from Flashpoint Paradox and the Screw 52 adaptations, I turned one on the other day and watched about 2 minutes. As soon as I saw that horrible so-called Superman costume and horrible Wonder Woman costume, my eyes started to bleed out. I didn't know you could even puke from your eyes until I saw that. I just turned it off. I can't stand it. It's horrific. You see this, and they look exactly the way they are supposed to look, as God intended, like Superman and Batman. First and foremost, I don't have to watch it cringing the whole time of them not looking like the characters that I grew up loving. So that's a big, it may not seem like much, and it may at that point didn't seem like much, but now 12 years of horrible looks to these characters under the bridge, it really impacts me even more now.
You know what? Okay, so I'm going through my local comic book shop. For anybody who doesn't know, that's Space Cadet Comics. And, dude, you'd love this place. They have a pizza joint in the comic book store.
I love it already.
And they have toys, lots and lots of toys and comic books. Absolutely love it. So I'm going through, and the owner, she's such a wonderful lady. She's like, "Hey, all hardbacks are half off today." And I'm like, holy shit.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So, because they had like a comic convention thing in the area, and they were promoting it. Nice. And I'm going through, and I see this Doomsday book. And I'm like, wait a minute. And it's like Doomsday and Superman melded together in a Superman outfit. and I'm like, what in the, and I turn it over and it's like the new 52's greatest story. And I'm like, nope,
Ugh.
nope,
Ugh. Wow.
nope.
Man, you know how I feel about Doomsday, but I'll take the, even at that point, at least he still had the right costume.
Ah.
And that's
So
a big
it
thing.
was some story, and I didn't get it. I could have got it. It looked like, I mean, I immediately was like, no.
Dude, let me tell you something about when people, it cannot be understated how important a costume of a superhero is. It is part of the whole point and appeal of a superhero. Otherwise, they're just a hero. There are plenty of hero characters throughout fiction that we love that are just, people that dress up. Some of them might even dress in a familiar way. For example, Captain Kirk has a uniform, or Luke Skywalker dresses a certain way, or what have you, right? But superhero, the costume is part of the character. Now, they do vary from era to era, time to time, to some degree here and there, but they are our primary identifier of the character that we love, that we grew up loving so much. And I don't like them changed that much. Superman and Batman, but especially Superman, really has probably, he's the number one superhero, and he has probably the greatest costume when not stray too far from its original path. Basically. Yeah. But it's not varied too much to a point where it makes me want to punch something. Yes, that is true. She has a nice.
She has boots.
Oh, they made her look good, didn't they? Whew, good Lord. Yeah, they gave us some nice candy for the eyes for the Power Girl bits, so to speak. And they gave us some character, too. They gave, and I tell you, one other thing that's wonderful about this film, Loki, is the set pieces in terms of, because again, it's very short. And with a superhero film, it's right naturally. Oh, by the way, before I go into that, we never have to see Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent. If these live action movies spend 70% of the time on the civilian identities, and then you get a few minutes of superhero stuff. That's another reason why I love animation. They will make a whole movie where they don't take their freaking uniform off or their costume off.
And they don't.
Full Batman and full Superman the whole time.
That's right. They don't. They do not do that at all in this.
Well, except for one scene, but later. But they're wearing someone else's costumes. But you know what I'm saying? They are in their superhero identities for the entire time. Thank you.
Yes. And someone mentioned earlier, and I'm trying to find it. If I missed it, I'm sorry. Someone said earlier that Pat S. I love Batman's costume in this. My favorite is the black and gray. That is my favorite costume as well. I understand people like the blue, the gray, the yellow. They like the old purple gloves or whatever. I love the black and gray. When I saw Ben Affleck's outfit in Batman, I was like, holy shit, that's like right up my alley. I love that, but it doesn't mean they did the rest of the movie.
This costume though. I'm a blue and gray guy, but I'm also a black and gray guy if the costume, because it's still the same design. In other words, it's everything except the utility belt may be a little bit different. The insignia in this case is the big yellow bat. But I like the big black bat too. Either way is fine, right?
Yeah.
But that's Batman's costume. So I love the blue and the gray, but I also love the black and the gray if it's the right. Yeah, that's where it varies from Superman a little bit. Superman needs to stay the same. Batman's could be either one of those two, as long as they don't have the stupid crap where they take the trunks away, which I hate, and the yellow line around the bat signal thing that they got going on now, and him looking like he's too much of the wearing armor and too much that kind of crap.
Yes,
I hate that crap. So blue or gray, I'm fine with it if it looks like that.
Did you ever have a problem with the Michael Keaton outfit?
Yes.
I did too. It always looked off to me. It's one of the things I never talk about because so many people love that Batman. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with this Batman. I'm just saying the costume, and they get weirder. They get weirder as the movies go along.
I did a video about Batman the movies yesterday, sort of, well, as in relation to comics, and that movie costume. Look, I like that movie. A lot of people like that movie. It's perfectly enjoyable and likable in a lot of ways. But it never feels more like a Batman story than something like this does.
Yes.
Because to me, it's Keaton getting a lot of help from the costume. Maybe it doesn't kill him. It doesn't kill the movie for me, but they have yet to make a movie with a satisfactory Batman costume for me. They're never, excluding the fan film Batman Dead End, that doesn't count. They're never going to. Never.
I didn't like. I don't remember whether
I think
it
it should be cloth, not armor. I hate the armor crap.
Yeah. The one in the Nolan films, there was one or two of those I didn't like.
They're
and
passable,
I didn't
but
like.
I don't prefer them. I'm with you.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the gray and the black. I've always been partial to gray and black, and that's because I love the animated series so much. I love the animated series so much, and then going and reading comics and seeing them in either a very, very dark, almost like black purplish looking cowl and cape, or the dark black. I love that. I love that look. I never got used to the light blue cowl and cape. I never got used to that. I don't know why.
Well, I think it's almost a signal of differentiating a lighter Batman from a darker, from a bit of a dark. See, Batman has dark, which he is. He started out Dark Knight. He has a bit of a lighter tone Batman, as I talk a lot about in recent videos and streams. And I love the versatile Batman. I love Adam West. I love Batman Brave and the Bold, but I love Batman animated series, and he is the Dark Knight Detective. I love the Neil Adams run, the Englehart and Rogers run, not this one. You can go too far either way. You can go too dark with Batman as well. This is going too far down. It's not hell. This isn't even light. This is camp. Batman can be lighthearted. Batman can be dark. Batman is extremely versatile, but you got to get the costume right, and this is as disturbing.
And Arnold was right. It's a cold day in Gotham.
And it's whacked out. Yes, that's creepy stuff. But yeah, no. And the costumes, and there's the thing, the costumes almost for all the superheroes that are in this film, for me, are perfect. It's an era that is almost every hero and almost every villain look the way I, as a comic geek, something of a purist, I admit, want them to look. And there's a scene we got to talk about, dude.
Oh, well, let's do it.
When they first get attacked by the villains after the $1 billion bounty is put on Superman.
Yes.
Luthor puts the $1 billion bounty on Superman. So they get attacked by the villains, and they are coming at him. And of course, we don't know at first. I even remember at the time watching it for the first time, and every time, like if I watched it later, I'd forgotten. I'm going, why the hell is Mongol doing this? And Superman even asks him, Mongol, what do you want with money for anyway? Mongol's kind of weird. While some of these characters, and then, what's it? Grundy, as Batman says in this, Grundy sounded like William F. Buckley.
Yeah,
so, what the hell? And basically said something must be controlling them. And the first thing before they
Grodd.
show, I go Grodd, and then they show Grodd.
Yeah,
But he brought all these different villains, even Silver Banshee from the Byrne era. Ugh, but they use they use some very obscure ones, and I'm getting a kick out of watching them all. And here they are way outnumbered, and that's what I loved about it, because I'm going, wait a minute, this is perfect. They could have been running. They could have been running scared. Anybody else? The two greatest superheroes can beat a friggin' army of supervillains.
Yes, they drew a line in the sand and said, "Bring it,
fight.
bring it,
bitches.
Yeah, bring it, bitches."
Bring it, bitches. And it was Batman and Superman against an army of supervillains, being controlled by Grodd or not. They're pretty dangerous, and they just whacked them. It was wiped the floor with them, and it was fantastic.
Absolutely. And that's when those combos start coming in, and you start seeing stuff. Batman throwing explosions out, and Superman lighting them up with his heat vision. They're literally fighting back to back against all of, and it's just they just kick ass.
Oh yeah, they're like, it's similar to that scene in the great animated series episode called The Trial, when Batman was about to be electrocuted, and the girl who's helping him knocks out the lights with this batarang.
Yes.
And then they're like, don't let him get away. And all of his worst villains are in there. He goes, who says I'm leaving? They could have run. Superman could have got out of there. Like, nah, we will kick all of their asses. And with Grodd, then we'll kick Grodd's ass.
That's right.
Batman kicks Grundy's ass.
It's like that. It's like that. That deal in Watchmen. I'm not locked in here with all of you bitches. You're locked in here with me.
You're locked up in here with me. Rorschach says yes.
That's right.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, look. And again, they don't need the whole Justice League. It's Batman and Superman can take them all. And then when the other superheroes show up, they take them. They kick their asses too.
Dude, that I could not believe that. There is no okay. That is where I was like, okay, this is outside of the realm of what I find acceptable. Shazam, okay, it's a kid. He's impressionable. Whatever.
But that was later.
Hawkman, bullshit.
Yeah, that was a problem I have with this story. Again, not having read the comic, I don't know what was cut down. The villains were being manipulated by Grodd, but they're, so a lot of them may not have shown up. But when, Major Force working for Luthor makes sense, that little jackass. Captain Atom, again, he's still good. He's the kind of guy that's going to work for Authority. That kind of made sense. Power Girl was on the fence. So that worked. The other ones, Black Lightning and Katana, I don't know. Oh, by the way, how about the scene with Shiva? To backtrack a little bit. She said if this were made today, she would have beat the crap out of Batman. Batman had just gotten the crap knocked out of him by Grundy. He'd been bouncing all over, being knocked around by supervillains. And then when he gets his bearings, it takes about 2 seconds for him to take her out. Dude.
And that's, and that's that. He just wipes his hands of her.
Couldn't do that today, could you?
Nope. It would have been a fight to the death.
Yeah. And
Purple Valkyrie says Andrea Romano said that she fought hard to get her original cast together again for this movie. Kevin Conroy's Batman, Tim Daly as Superman, and Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor made all the difference.
I agree, absolutely.
Yes.
Good point, Purple. She was always a great casting director, and the casting in this is perfect. It absolutely is. But the heroes. I don't know. They're going to work for the Authority sometimes. They didn't really give you any specific clue that there is a Justice League to speak of, which was kind of odd. But when we get to see Captain Marvel, he's going to be impressionable. Hawkman, I'm with you. But they never tell us how they get dealt with either.
No. And they didn't kill him. Because that's not what
Power
they do.
Girl helped him, but they didn't say what.
Yeah. And I just, Hawkman's always been kind of like, I wanted wings and a mace. Who doesn't want what 6-year-old kid doesn't want a mace and a set of wings and to go fly like what's his name in the Flash or in Flash Gordon. But I would love and the character's not like that. The character wouldn't just be like, oh, well, Luthor said you guys were bad guys, so I'm just going to believe him. And no.
Yeah, that was a bit of a problem for me. No, especially Hawkman. He's not the kind. Carter Hall's not the kind to do that. He sure looked good, though. They all look so good, though. By the way, how do you say that name? Yeah, that's actually not. That was when Captain Marvel did outsell Superman for a bit in the 40s and into the 50s. Not in the 70s and 80s, though. But anyway. Yes. So getting to see now again, there was something I had a bit of a problem with Captain Marvel's uniform. That's a bit of a nitpick, but it was still good. It's great to see. So we even get a little chunk of a Superman Captain Marvel fight. And yes, the real Captain Marvel, folks. I say Captain Marvel, and thank you for calling him that in the movie.
Yes.
The way he should be.
Not Shazam.
Nope.
Shazam!
Shazam, that was cool. It was a cool scene. Now, again, I don't know. I think we should have got a little bit more. I think after he turns back, and it should have been something where Luthor was, maybe kind of kicking. Maybe if he were teaming up with Grodd to use his mind control thing on a couple of those guys, maybe that would have made more sense for the story. I would have probably been a little easier with that. And then the lightning bolt shakes it free for Captain Marvel, and he joins up with them because they sure have their clothes, and that was kind of weird.
And yes, Purple Valkyrie, blind blessed as Prince Voltan. Yes.
Naturally. He was fantastic.
I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Probably because I'm sick. But I just...
did you say his name? I didn't even hear you.
No. I was like, God, I can't think of his name. But yeah, it was Prince Voltan. Brian Blessed. Prince Voltan. Fly!
I didn't even hear you say it. Okay.
Yeah, if Grodd had been controlling them, totally down with that. But you're right. It's not long enough. The movie's not long enough.
Not long enough. And that's a weird iteration of Toy Man that I never really. Of course, there are a bunch of different iterations of Toy Man.
Okay, explain that to me. Because I am so, every time I have seen Toy Man, he's a villain.
That's why this is, I don't know, this kid calling himself Toy Man. There was, now I would have to dig up the issue number, but somewhere in the 2000s, there was, Jeff Johns wrote an issue. It was kind of scary. It was actually kind of a good comic that talked about all the different iterations of Toy Man. So there are multiple ones. And this kid, I never read any comics with him in it because remember, I wasn't reading a lot of those comics at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was created for this comic book or not. There was a comic, of course, that was again Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. That he may have been created for that comic. I don't know because I wasn't reading it at the time. I'm looking at some pages from the comic now. They really did a nice job of translating that art.
Yes, they did.
Absolutely. And now I like that art. I didn't like it much back then. I'm looking at it now going, I didn't read this comic.
I like it now. Considering what they're doing now, I like it now.
I may have softened a little bit. Now, again, I'm looking at McGinnis is okay. I got a buddy of mine that really likes his stuff, and he's good. I mean, it's, again, I think you might be right. Maybe I'm just softened because of how bad things are now. That's not a good idea to do that, though.
Well, it can be acceptable.
But those are the only shortcomings.
How they,
yeah. Those are the only shortcomings. Problems I have. Other than it just being too short, I could have taken a little bit more. But when they take out, when Batman is forced to fly that was kind of a fun bit too. By the way,
yes, I like that.
The big mech thing that was based on the two of them. That was kind of funny.
See you later, Saj Melody. Take it easy, brother. Let's go back real quick. Hold on, because we are getting to the end and we've got like at least another 20, 30 minutes at the least.
Sure.
Let's talk about Lex Luthor. Before we get to the end, let's talk about Lex Luthor.
Sure. Absolutely.
President of the United States says he's buried the hatchet with Superman. I'm a changed man, he says. Meets Superman to talk about this emergency. There's a giant meteorite of kryptonite barreling towards the Earth. And suddenly Superman is hurting for no reason. And he knows Lex has messed with him.
Yeah.
But it's not, at first you think, well, it's not Lex. It's Metallo.
Yeah.
But it's not Metallo. It is Lex. Lex has been juicing. He has been injecting himself with like a steroid kryptonite cocktail. And the only time I ever saw anything like this was in Smallville. I don't ever remember reading anything like that. I don't ever remember seeing anything like that. I mean, the kryptonite ring, yes, but not some steroid kryptonite juice cocktail that anyone was injecting themselves with. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you would know. I don't ever remember anybody doing that before.
I think from what I remember, it's from the comic. Again, have not read the comic. I know bits and pieces about it, but other than on Smallville, like you say, and I didn't even watch that, to be honest. So I don't know. Listen, I'm trying to think. There was a story in the Silver Age where he was doing something similar to it. You got to remember, these comics that are written even in the 2000s or the 90s, most of these guys writing these comics read comics when they were kids, and they're always taking piecemeal stuff from old comics they read. There was a comic, I think it was a Carrie Bates issue or something, when Superman did something similar. I mean, not Superman, listen to me. Luthor did something similar. Remember, that was the old mad scientist Luthor, who was before he was corporate Luthor, and certainly before he was a President Luthor type. So it was done in a comic. Can I give you the issue number off the top of my head? No. And it wasn't exactly the same. People take bits and pieces and do their own things with it. Jeff Loeb is not really the most original writer in the world, to be quite honest. He did Batman Long Halloween comic. He's done a few good comics. He's done a lot of derivative ones, but I can't spot exactly what that was done, but it was done similar. It was similar in the Bronze Age ones. But I can't give you a specific, unfortunately.
But I thought it was really kind of Chris Persia even says he believes that was lifted from the Smallville series.
Probably was, but that could have been lifted from another comic as well.
I thought he had a regular kryptonite ring. All I remember with the ring was that eventually they had to cut his hand off because over time it had.
That's right. Burn Luthor.
Yeah. And eventually he dies and long-haired Luthor Jr. shows up, but it's not long-haired Luthor Jr. It's a clone.
Are you talking about in the show now or the comic?
No, in the comic. In the comic, Luthor gets his hand chopped off because of the ring. Right. It's poisoning him. And eventually he dies in a plane crash. But Dabney Donovan at Cadmus makes a clone of Lex and takes out the genetic abnormality that made him bald and all that shit. And this long red-haired guy shows up and he's Scottish. I'm the son of Lex Luthor. And he eventually takes over Luthor Corp. And you find out eventually after Superman dies, he's like, you son of a bitch. It was supposed to be me. It was supposed to be me. I was the one who was supposed to kill you. And yeah.
You're talking about an era I did not read, but yes, he didn't have a red kryptonite ring. He just had a kryptonite ring. I don't remember a red ring, unless you do.
Mm-mm. I know at some point there was one, but
that was another cool thing, by the way, that Pat S points out. I loved seeing Luthor's power suit.
Oh yeah, every time.
I love the power suit. I don't care if it was superpowers to make for toys and shit. I love it.
Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale.
Yeah, I mean they did Long Halloween, and then they did the Dark Victory, and then they did Superman for All Seasons, and they did a bunch of other stuff for Marvel. Yeah, they've done some good stuff. Again, I have a lot of problems with Jeff Loeb sometimes, but other times he's okay. Just when he was running Marvel, running a lot of certain departments of Marvel, it pissed me off.
So, and Kal-El48 says, yes, Luthor was dying slowly from kryptonite radiation poisoning, so he faked his own death and lived on as his own son, Lex Luthor II. And Luthor 2 was with Supergirl for a while. That was his girly girl.
Luthor 2 Electric Boogaloo. Good old Kal-El. Good to see you, dude. Power Suit Lex is pretty awesome, but once again, that mech was pretty cool.
the mech, yeah. So you've got crazy ass Lex Luthor who not only thinks, oh well, I'm gonna fire every nuke in the world and destroy the giant kryptonite meteor, but tries to do mouth to mouth with Amanda Waller.
Oh boy, yeah.
And she's like, you crazy.
That happened. Whoa. Yeah, he was crazy. Again, it's just that's why to make Luthor a villain. I have enough problems with corporate Luthor. I was never a big fan of Byrne's stupid corporate Luthor and his Kingpin Luthor stuff. But making him president, and I think when that happened in the comic, again, I was tangent. I would look at comics here and there, but I had sworn DC off pretty much for a good while. But I would look at it, and when I saw they were doing that did not make me want to go back and buy DC Comics. I said, that is absolutely asinine. Luthor being president is stupid. There's no way you can make that work unless you find a real good way to explain him, using some real bad mojo to get in there somehow. They handled it pretty well on the Justice League cartoon.
They did. They absolutely did.
Him becoming president, man, I don't know. So that's always been a big stretch for me, if you know what I'm saying. Not Luthor. Just come on, really? Just let him be a villain. I mean, it took me for years just to come to terms with the corporate Luthor crap. I like Mad Scientist Luthor, who just hated Superman, had a revolving door on his jail cell, and that was that. That was the one I grew up with loving. So
you've got Luthor juicing, Luthor kind of going crazy, and you've got a killer. Who is it? God, what was the name of the guy that was killing for Luthor? That was part of the
Major Force.
Major Force.
Yeah, I mean that was like such a. It wasn't even. You know, it's one thing to see the heroes, but see your major force. He's a villain anyway. So yeah, that was kind of, but that was pretty cool the way Batman got him to confess.
Yes.
Basically, you're too stupid. You're too stupid to know you shouldn't trust Luthor or whatever he'll tell him. He basically just goaded him into it. That was pretty cool.
Well, that's Batman. That is so Batman. And there's the detective. You know, Clobby, he never wanted to be a detective.
No, he just wanted to look out and kick people.
I can't say it with a straight face. He never wanted to be.
Even Jeff Loeb wouldn't write that. And he wrote Long Halloween. It's just that whoever wrote that TV, that animated film, probably put that wasn't in the comic. I never wanted to be a detective. What do you want to be then? I wanted to punch people. Okay, you could do that without a costume.
And that's true. Luthor becoming a corporate titan was just a sign of the times. The mad scientist didn't really resonate with audiences anymore. Luthor becoming president, though, was a bridge too far.
Yeah, when Byrne did it, I hate Byrne's reboot. No secret there. I still think it didn't work for me. I mean, look, no, I will rephrase that. There does make a certain time of sense. I just don't prefer it. So I definitely, if you say it kind of works or it makes sense, you won't get an argument out of me. I even accept it after a while. I have to put up with it. I don't prefer it. How's that sound?
Yeah. And yes, Daryl the Derelict, that vanilla crown is very good. I can't wait to...
don't think it's inevitable. Oh, yeah. Vanilla crown. But some of the... What are some of your favorite moments of this thing? I mean, there's so many great bits.
The first time Batman shows up, and like we were talking about earlier, the very beginning, when Batman shows up and blows the shit out of Metallo. And is that going to keep him down? Oh, maybe for a minute. What's in that, you know? The scene with Alfred, when you see Alfred, he's like, oh, Master, what does he say? Master Bruce and Master Kent. Oh, man, seeing Alfred just for that minute, that's still great. I don't care, even if we only got like a minute of Alfred. Anytime we get to see Alfred, they're great, especially when it's the Alfred, like the Alfred from the animated series, the Alfred that's never given up on Bruce Wayne or Batman or Superman, the Batman who's never turned his back on oh, man, you know, the shit like that. The fight scene, when all the villains show up, of course, yes, that's when I was like jumping up and down the first time I saw this. The music too. I've got the soundtrack.
Really good. Oh, do you? I didn't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, I've got the soundtrack to this. It's part of my DC collection because I've got a couple of different ones. I even got the metal verse one that you probably are like, low key metal verse. Well, I like the metal music. Yeah. Anyway, the soundtrack to this. Go ahead.
No, I'd say I like what Purple put there from the quoting, I think, from the movie. I took the liberty of washing and repairing your shirt and cape. The souvenirs of Gotham City's sewers are best left under the streets.
Gotta love Alfred. Yes.
Oh, yes. Love it. He is great. Yeah. And you got, that's one thing, Miller had ups and downs. Smart ass. Alfred, it comes from Miller. Miller did create that. Because Ralph before was... It just the Alfred that even that you see on the animated series that we like, that did come from Miller. He did start that, as opposed to Yes Man Alfred, it was just quiet and stuffy and didn't do anything. If you like the kind of smart alecky Alfred, which is kind of lovable, that really starts with what Miller was doing.
The fight with Hawkman and Captain Marvel, as much as I disagree with why they were doing that, it's a kick-ass fight.
It is. Again, I'm a sucker for a Superman Captain Marvel slug out, even a shorter one. And I like that Captain Marvel did say something like when he mentioned the wisdom of Solomon, of course, and he told Superman, you never was really good with against magic, which is true.
Yeah.
Which again alludes to a better time for Superman when magic was a problem for him. I like that they have a lot of lines in here. And again, I did not write them down because I was in a hurry when I just rewatched it again right before. So I didn't write a lot of them down. But if you just watch this, there's so many small lines in this thing. Unlike what they're doing now with these stupid DC animated movies where they can't even get the
Yes.
characters right, a la Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 or Catwoman: The Long Halloween Part 2. This one has so many clever lines that harken back. That is great characterization lines that harken back to, some very small ones. They're references to older comics, older bits of continuity, different things like that, that are just a joy to watch and listen to. Seeing those villains, yes, a lot of them don't get to do much other than get their ass kicked by Superman and Batman, but it was great seeing them all. Seeing Captain Marvel, whom I love. I didn't like the gold thing running down the. I don't know. I was not super big on his costume, but it was okay. Again, I'm picky about my Captain Marvel costume, but he still looked great. And see him just for a few minutes. Again, this whole thing was a labor of love to certainly Bronze and Silver Age, even though it was taking place and adapted from a story that was not in the Silver or Bronze Age. It still had that feel to it for me. So yeah. I love that. Hawkman. I wanted more Hawkman, and I wanted a better reason for Carter Hall to just be, I don't know,
fighting them.
Yeah, and then there's another. This would have been so much better if they'd been reasoned with after the fight initial, because superheroes always fight each other, and then when they go back, instead of Batman and Superman in those costumes. Maybe they should have done that, but then we get to see a scene where they're getting back in their costumes and we see Captain Marvel and Hawkman on their side now, where they belong.
Yep.
Some of that was a problem where some of these superheroes would not just, some of them would work for Luthor, but the whole Justice League, and I realize they don't have a lot of time. At least some of them would, after initially maybe having some reservations about what's going on with Superman and Batman, Superman being accused of murder and Batman helping him, would, after a fight, go back to the side, realizing that these guys are the heroes and Luthor is a villain.
Yeah.
I would like a little bit more of that. I would like them to, because the film really would have benefited for another 20, 25 minutes, to be honest. It's only look, 115 minutes or whatever?
115, 120. It's like 3 episodes. It's like three little 30-minute episodes. If that. Take some time with commercial. Yeah, out for commercials.
Yep.
So there is one scene that I love more than all the others in this movie, and that is when Superman is fighting Lex, and he thinks that Batman's dead.
Dude, oh my goodness, we both had the same scene. Go for it.
And he's like, my best friend just died.
That was my best friend.
Yeah. That was and you just know he wants to kill him. You know he wants to kill him, and he's not going to do it, but he wants to. He wants to beat the holy hell out of Lex. And because it's his best friend. His best friend just died. All because Lex had to be a douche.
And that was, even when I first saw it, because at that time, we hadn't seen the Screw 52 yet, but we've seen a lot of crap under the, water under the bridge that defile these characters and their friendship. So when I saw that, it really touched me. And every time I see it, it affects me because, yes, they are best friends. And yes, they say, Jimmy Olsen is Superman's pal and Robin is Batman's friend and Dick Grayson and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes hate how they handle Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne's relationship as well. But these two are best buddies.
Yeah, they're brothers. They're brothers. They're brothers from different planet.
Hal and Ollie are best buddies. Peter Parker and Johnny Storm are best buddies. Reed and Ben are best buddies. There are a lot of great best buddies in all of comics, superheroes. Well, just speaking of superheroes, none better than Bruce and Clark, who were calling each other by each other's names, even in the sewer when they were taking each other's stuff, if you remember, throughout the thing.
And it's a testament to what DC Comics was all about. This is a testament to what DC Comics was all about. Whether you're talking about the trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, whether you're talking about the top tier of DC, it's Batman and Superman. It was always Batman and Superman.
That's right. They're the big two, dude.
The big two. And I can't ever remember. To me, it doesn't get better than this. There's some really good movies we're gonna watch and we're gonna review, but to me, it doesn't get better than this. This is I love this. I loved World's Finest. I love this movie. I don't ever remember, even as a kid, getting as excited watching Batman and Superman do something as I got as watching this movie.
And it's just, again, the only crime is there's not enough of it.
Yeah, there's not enough of it.
I could have watched this, looking the way it does, moving the way it does, flowing the way it was, and even written the way it was. I could have watched a 4-hour thingy of it, but I know we can't have that. So how about 2-hour movies with the same animation style art, and do this one for should have been about 2 hours, and then another one done the same way, or different story perhaps, but within this absolute universe that looks like that, feels like that, walks and talks like that, and flies like that. That's what I wanted, more of it. Absolutely. And again,
if we can get a 2-parter long Halloween, we should have gotten a 2-part. Yes, Batman, Superman, Public Enemy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Purple. This easily makes my top 5. I don't know what order I have, because as you know, I started hating these around 2013 or 14 when they started absolutely destroyed the whole animation. For me, all of DC animations destroyed, decimated. But before this, there's a handful of ones I really like. This is definitely easily top 5, and maybe top 2 or 3. I mean, it's just, like I said, complaints not enough. And when something's not enough, that's usually a compliment as well as a complaint.
This and God, what is it? All-Star Superman? Not All-Star Superman. Superman versus the Elite.
Love it.
Yeah, I love Superman versus the Elite.
What
are we going to watch next?
What do you think? I mean, I'm game. You name it, because I mean, we should. I'll give you the list of the ones I really want to do before we go into the other ones. Before I start suffering, you want to just do ones that will be no suffering involved that I like, or
yes, I would love to. The best of the best. Let's do the best of the best. That's what I want to do.
It won't take me long to lay out the ones I love. Here, of course, this one. Batman Under the Red Hood, I loved.
Yeah.
In spite of some issues with it, I love JLA New Frontier.
Okay. I would love to talk to you about the Death in the Family.
I'll watch it soon.
If you want a copy, I'll send you a copy.
I have the HBO Max app.
Okay.
I use someone's numbers for it, so I get it for free. But what else we have?
Oh, I don't know how that one plays. See, that's the weird thing. I don't know how that's going to play. I don't know if it's just going to show you all the possibilities. I have no idea. I know on Blu-ray, it was pick your own story through it.
I'll look into it this week and get back to you how it is.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Because I just know it's on there. So I mean, because I've seen it on there.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones I've watched, because it's the exact same art style that they used in Red Hood, same voice actors, everyone comes back, and it's a lot more than what you got in Red Hood.
Well, there you go. Justice League Doom, by the way.
Yes.
All-Star Superman, again, another one where I loved it, but I did read the comic. I love the comic, and the only thing wrong with it, because it's beautiful, is that they left out so much from the comic that I would have loved to see as a movie.
Yeah,
but I loved it. I loved it. I loved. I love New Frontier. Again, this one thing from the comic and the movie that I hate, but I still love the thing for the most part. It's beautiful. What is it? What else is there? The Superman Batman Apocalypse we should probably do. Again, I remember sort of being sort of so-so on it, but maybe I'll like it better when I watch it again. I'm game to see. Of course, I feel about the Doomsday ones. I only saw the first one, didn't watch that second time. I didn't care. Crisis on Two Worlds was a really good one.
Yes, I'd be completely okay with watching that.
That's a good one. I don't know. There are a couple other good ones, I think. Maybe, sort of, kind of, sort of, maybe. Or we'll watch after that. We can watch ones that maybe we don't think much of it just to review them, and of course, um, and only for you would I review any of the Screw 52 ones. But we could, if we do, save them for last. At least save them for last. If you know what I mean. I missed the round table, but these little reunions are really. Hey, look, I'm always up for a Loki Clobby team up, dude. It doesn't have to be just this, but of course, this is a lot of fun.
And I'm going to talk to Clobby here in just a couple of minutes and talk about possibly having a reunion in December. I haven't talked to Clobby about that yet. He's the only member of the Comic Book Roundtable I have not talked to about that being a possibility.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
yeah. Absolutely. But I will watch Death in the Family. Just keep forgetting about it, dude. I know I see it on there. So, and then it might be fun to rip the crap out of some of those Screw 52 ones. I'm kidding. I wouldn't want to be mean to anything, would I? Maybe a little. Yeah. But this thing is just amazing. I want to watch it again right now.
Yeah. No, I do. I'm gonna go watch it again. That's what I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to crash out for tomorrow, and hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow.
Oh, dude, yeah, I hope you do, man. See, just a few months back, before you and I even talked about doing anything like this, I think I threw this one on. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, whatever it was, just because I hadn't seen it in a while, and just loved it. And then, right before we came on here, obviously I wanted to wait till the last minute to watch it again because, I have the crappy memory. And there's still some things while I'm watching it tonight, right? Going, oh God, I want to mention that. But I got home so late, I didn't write any of it down. So I've forgotten. That's how good this thing is, at least to me, everyone. And maybe we're overdoing it. I don't know. But I'm mad at myself. I wish I'd written that down because I wanted to mention that. That was a great line. But you'll all find out if you watch it, if you haven't, that this thing is just, if you love these characters, if you are someone who will like this art style, getting to see them together in just a cracking adventure, just a fun. God, dude, that's why I love animation. So when it comes to superheroes, more than I love live action shit. If this were live action, we would get about 20 minutes of some okay stuff with their costumes, and the whole rest of the movie is them not wearing uniform costumes and their private life, or their Bruces and their Clarks, and there's shut up. I want to see superheroes. I'm 12 years old here.
That's right. I want to see superheroes kick ass and take names.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent for 70% of the movie.
No, man, I want to see a gaggle of superheroes fighting the two greatest superheroes and spot the ones going, oh, there's Black Manta. Oh, there's Deadshot. Oh, there's Copperhead. Oh, there's Giganta. There, Silver Banshee. They had so many. Kimbo. I mean, they had all these crazy. Some of them were Byrne era, but I allowed for it. But that was so cool, man, seeing all these villains. Yeah. Getting their asses kicked by
Superman. Yeah, by Superman and Batman.
By the big two, buddy.
Well, we will decide what we are going to review next and put it out there into the ether and let you guys know about it. Let me talk to Clobby about whether or not we are going to have a full roundtable reunion in the month of December, because it is still November. And this is my last day to actually ask him, because who knows when we'll be able to do it in December. But until then, thank you so very much, Clobby, for coming on here.
Thank you for having me, buddy. I really enjoyed it, man.
If there's anything you want to tell anybody about, by all means, go ahead.
Well, tomorrow night I'll be doing my usual Wild Card Wednesday night. I think Bionic Belly Button might join me and hang out with me. So I'll have to.
Oh, heck yeah.
Our lovely friend Bionic might join me just to geek around for no particular reason. Then Global Geek Gang should be a go for 1 p.m. Central Standard Time Thursday, and then Clobby's Clubhouse, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday nights, when I get together with my wonderful first officer, Raquel, and my great buddy, Mark D with a C, my chief engineer. The three of us, we do it. The Trinity, we decided we spend so much time talking in private, hanging out, and having a wonderful time. We thought, why don't we inflict that on the rest of the world and start doing a show where it's just the three of us geeking around, except we'll try to make it a little more professional than when we're behind the scenes, of course. But You know what I mean? We thought we would have a good dynamic together, and we do have a lot of fun doing it, and people are enjoying it. So then Saturday Night Star Trek is doing fantastic, and what a crowd
yes.
we're getting. Great crowd for that, and so that'll be Saturday night. Of course.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Keep rocking, Clobby. Ha, ha. That was a pun.
I love it.
Yeah, because
Keep on clobbering, boys.
Ben Grimm's Rocky. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, y'all take care. Have a great one. Be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. And we will be back tomorrow morning with another Women of the Fandom, the last Women of the Fandom with a Polymese Minion. And then on to Thirsty Thursday, where we are going to talk about He-Man. Yay! Everybody take it easy, folks.
These videos are tremendous.
Clobberin' time!
And subscribe and hammer that notification bell.